Hey everyone, welcome back to another devlog for my indie game, Dead Standing, a top-down survival zombie exploration game with tower defense elements. These last 2 weeks have been mainly working on the game map. This involves drawing various sprites, placing tiles and collisions, and I've decided to hand paint each room, so it takes quite a bit of time. I have been working on some of the map generators for the resources and the enemies that place those elements randomly every time. A lot of you have seen this town room, so I won't spend too much time going over that. I'm just going to take some time and kind of talk over a video that I took of me playing the game and walking through the world here. This is another area that I didn't put any work into over the last 2 weeks. This is just where you'll be fighting the zombie waves, and yeah. So this is the main room that I've been working on the last couple of weeks. So I got this new city sign, there's some trash and litter that I've added, this truck or van, the pylons, the hydro pole, added little details like the stop sign. You can see at the bottom right the new car that's all damaged and beat up. It's a little laggy and the performance isn't that great with how many zombies I have spawned in currently at the moment. This is something that I'm working on right now, is just the performance of all the zombies being spawned in one location or area, such as like this room, how many zombies there are, generating groups of different zombies, and that sort of thing. So I have a few ideas and solutions of how I could fix this. As you can see, this is like a little group of zombies. It's pretty cool that they just kind of are wandering about, and when they hear you fire, they come and swarm you. So, but just having so many in one area and all of them deciding where to path and how to find you and wander aimlessly is kind of hurting the performance of the game. So I have a few solutions in mind to fix this. One solution that I thought of is that when they're out of a certain proximity range of the player, that they don't path or need to path so often, that they just have a different timer that allows them to kind of sit idle until the player gets close enough that then they do path. As you can see, this zombie over here, she's spawned in an area where she can't get to the player, that you, the player, can't get to them, and so they don't really need to spawn there. Same with like the trees and the rocks that spawn on top of those hills. So one of my solutions is that I think I can lessen the amount of zombies or trees and rocks, all of these instances that are spawning in these areas that are unreachable. I can solve this by creating maybe a tile or a sprite that then is placed on top of those hills so that it doesn't need to have the same performance costs as having an asset placed there. As you can see, this zombie, he's stuck on a tree. And that's also something that I need to fix with the spawning. It seems like some of them do clip into some of the objects and then they're unable to move. And so this is something that also would help with the performance if it can say, hey, are you in the middle of something? If so, please delete. Right? Another solution to this is just how many trees, rocks, or zombies that I'm spawning in. I can lessen the amount of zombies because in the beginning of the game you won't have very good weapons. You'll likely just have some rough melee weapons like the stone axe, and you won't be able to take on a group of 20 zombies and survive. And so I think this could scale up with gameplay, and that way I don't need to be spawning in such large amounts of zombies. I think it would also be, this can work in tandem with solution 1, because I think in some areas, or the further you progress into the map, I would like there to be areas where there is many zombies, and that would deter the player from going into these new areas of the map if they were overwhelmed by the amount of zombies that were there, such as towns or maybe radiated zones or something of that nature, right? I'm quite happy with how that wrecked car turned out in the van. I think that overall a lot of the sprites that I have drawn, such as the buildings and the vehicles, could use some sort of deteriorated look. Even the road looks a little too perfect. It's something I've mentioned in a previous devlog, but I'd like to go back to some of the artwork or even add some additional artwork that makes everything look a little more rough and apocalyptic and not so clean. This is another room that I worked on, that it's below that room that I spent a lot of time on. It's a bit of a winding road next to a lake. My idea for this room in the future is that I'll do some sort of roadblock in the middle of that winding road. It just kind of cuts off the area for the demo map. If you're wondering why there's a chest on that hill and a chest in some of the other rooms, it's a persistent object. Like the player, like the weapon, it's going to be storage for the player. In the future of the game, there won't be a chest in every room. It will just be something that belongs in the player's house or something that you're able to build in place. But I just have it right now currently as so to test the storage and inventory for the player. I'm also quite happy with how these hydro poles have turned out. I think they look quite nice. An idea I had was maybe adding some cables or wires that connect them all. I'm not sure it's necessary, but it's just a thought. This is a room that I've been working on for quite some time. This is the room with the broadcast station. I added a lot more details. You can definitely see a difference in the performance between this room and other rooms I'll show you later on, that it's not so laggy or choppy as the room that we were just in. And that's just due to the zombie spawner that I'm working on currently at the moment. So this is what it looks like before it spawns in all the zombies, rocks, and trees. So up here, these are just my two little icons that I've shown for the spawners. So the one on the right is the zombie spawner, the one on the left is the tree and rock spawner. So they generate randomly all of those instances upon the gameplay, or when entering the room currently at the moment. Like the chest and the spawners, I need to do some sort of save load system so that it can remember how many zombies were in the room, how many trees, the rocks, the placements, etc. And then that way there wouldn't be a chest in every room either. It will be able to remember, hey, there was a treasure chest in this room, and this is what its contents were. Now this is one of the other rooms that I'm working on. It's currently not connected. It's going to have a bridge and a river. This is that winding road room that I showed you a little bit of. So it still has some work to do. Now this is the broadcast station room. So yeah, for all of them, I'd like to add more buildings and more details. But yeah, all of it takes time to create those sprites. So that's a lot of what I've been working on just the last 2 weeks. I'm just going to quickly show you now some of the other ones that rooms that are relatively finished. Something that I ran into with creating the new vehicles was that I seem to need to adjust the parking spots and how large they are in relative size to the vehicles. So I'm not sure how this is going to work for the town that I've spent so much time on, but hey, that's something that I'll approach in the future. In future updates and videos, I think I'm going to hold off on showing more of the map and the progression there. I'm just going to work on some buildings and new little details and things for the map at my leisure. And I think a lot of more what you'll be seeing in my future videos is some new mechanics that I'd like to add, such as looting and a day-night cycle and an NPC dialogue system. I'd really like to add shopping that you can buy and sell items. I would like to maybe start adding some sounds to the game. Right now there's no pause menu, So there's a lot of these little things that I'd like to take care of. And this again is the mini map. Hopefully that way it kind of, after seeing all the different rooms, you might now see how they will piece together and connect and what I have accomplished over the last couple of weeks. And yeah, so I still have one or two more rooms that I haven't started yet. The one in the bottom right and the top left. So yeah, still got some work to do there. Well, thank you all so much for watching. I know it's a bit of a different video this week, but I hope you enjoyed it. I just thought I would do something a little more relaxed and kind of just walk you around me playing the game. If you want to get more updates or talk about my game and join some discussions, you can come follow me on my Discord. The link will be in the description below. And yeah, thanks so much again, and have a good one. Bye.